if he take over
Alright.
two maps. Let's see.
Alright, I'm recording right now.
Oh, you're recording? Okay, thanks.
Is there anything in particular you guys want me to take a look at?
Feeding. I feel like we feed a bit. It's too much. And take good advantage of ads and that we have. Or like respecting the ones that they have.
Okay, so a few things immediately on the mid. I won't talk too much about the rollouts. Obviously, there's a little bit messy, but that'll come with practice. Your rollouts are a bit strange. You've gone double soldier, double scout right side, so this left roof is completely unplayed. Usually, you'll have your
Also,
pocket. Go ahead.
oh no. So one scout goes on the left side to the roof, right?
Yeah, I'll go through it now. So your standard snake water mid will look like your pocket soldier and your pocket scout will come out so with the beam. Are you pocket scout Akaru or is that someone else?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So if you're the pocket scout, you're roughly doing the correct thing. You'll play between these two roofs on the mid. I'll get to that in a second. You'll play between those two roofs on the mid. Pocket soldier, you'll be usually playing on that top right roof as well, and waiting for the play. And then your Roman soldier will roll out catwalk, and you can spam a few rockets towards their catwalk at the start of the mid, and then wait for whatever your plan is on the mid. And then the same with the flank scout. The flank scout will jump up on this roof by rolling out catwalk. What you've ended up doing is you have two players on the floor at the start of the mid, which is really bad. It means you're not doing anything. Also, another thing being is Damascus. Are you pocket soldier or Roman soldier?
Sorry, I was supposed to be a roamer, but I think I was mistaken to be pocket for a moment.
It's okay. The rollout was fine, but obviously the issue is you've gone for this play. You've gone for this like early soldier bomb with no pressure from your team at all. So you basically,
Yeah,
well, you saw what happened. They were allowed to turn around 4 players and just shoot you. So in terms of aggression on snake water mids, usually single bombs aren't going to happen. The only time you'd single bomb is if you're going to send a soldier behind to go sit in so and then wait for a collapse on mid. Otherwise, you just do your standard rollouts. Have your soldier scout top left, your soldier scout top right, and medic demo on the floor. And then you can either play two types of mids. You can either play for a spam mid where you wait for your demo or your soldiers to land good chip damage, or one of their players to stand up position, and then you can actually take a fight. Or your early double bomb is a thing you'll see on Snake Water as well. But again, the key thing there is double bomb. So it'll be your demo man will be walking forward to apply pressure with spam, and then your soldiers will double bomb at the same time. So you just talk to each other and then synchronize when you want to jump and what the target is. So obviously on this rollout, the big issues that being you have nothing top left. So your Roman soldier rolls out here with a scout, and you control top left, and then have a soldier top right and have a plan for the mid. Because if this was a planned bomb by you, and then it seems very strange that you're going ahead of anyone on your team being ready to do anything. So just make sure you as a team have a plan for the mid fight. And it's kind of just over at that point, I think, because you're still on the floor. Yeah. Do we leave? Good to recognize because you're down so many people, you need to leave all the way out to lobby. Good. Oops. Okay. Sensibly here, we should be setting up a last defense, so you should already be on your off classes. Looks like we're trying to fight. Okay, so I see the idea is they haven't finished the mid caps. You guys want to see if you can take this fight into second. Although what you need to realize is your scout and medic has left so far. You have no idea where players could be hidden in lobby. So pushing back out is going to cause you a lot of problems, and it looks like it does. You start losing players. Yeah. So Snake Water last is notoriously extremely difficult to push out of. So if you don't have any forward information to know you can get out and trade on second, it's probably just better to defend last because yeah, you've lost a lot of players. You're trying to get out. Especially because
Wait,
you
no,
knew
no.
your 1 second. So you knew your scout was very late to die on the mids. You know you're going to be down 1 anyway. So it's very risky to try and take that fight back in a second. I get the idea. You were thinking, oh, they haven't even finished the mid cap. We can try and get out with last year. What I would say is that's something you can go for at a lot higher level of play, because it takes a lot of coordination to try and get out of last and clear everything on Snakewater. What was your question?
I was gonna say, so like when me and Hikaru were like leaving, we should like maybe held a bit more forward, not like gone all the way back to our spawn and giving them that space
I
in
mean,
lobby.
if you safely can, this can be an okay spot for your scout to stand and just see how quick the enemy team are, because that allows you to make a decision if you're going to refight second or not. I would say your leave wasn't even bad because that soldier was chasing right on top of you anyway. So, uh, short answer, yes, sometimes it's good. This is a relatively safe spot for your medic to just sit here whilst you look to see what's pushing second. But the leave wasn't bad. Yeah, if you could have a scout just watching to see if they push. Yeah, so you just lose off the back of you guys feeding players trying to refight second. That's not too bad. I would say as a matter of priority to get your pocket rollout down, because it looks like it's something that isn't practiced because there's 2 mids in a row where it's bad. Also, one of the scouts is hitting themselves in spawn. Don't do that. It makes the rollout harder for your medic to manage. Okay, so we have a soldier catwalk this mid. That's good. Scout on the floor into kitchen. A good demo man will kill you for doing this. Seems like you've got him unnoticed though. So okay, so we've put a scout behind at the start of the mid. So I guess the only way to pull something off out of this would be to double commit when our scout's in a good position. So yeah, see what's happening here. Similar thing to when Damascus went in solo last mid. There's no pressure being applied as our scout goes for this. So really what the scout should be doing is waiting lower and saying, okay, I'm ready to commit now guys. And either your soldiers and demo man start applying heavy spam and walking forward across the point, or your soldiers bomb, but something just to make this scout play more significant.
Fine.
Works out. Get 2 picks off the back of it. I would say sneaking a scout into kitchen isn't usually going to work against better teams because the soldiers will be quick enough to mid to see you doing it. Like usually that's a play. What Adam has just done, that'd be a play the Roman soldier makes if he can get to mid extremely quick. But hey, scout gets behind. Relatively okay, but see again how passive our combo is being here, right? Like Adam's in there doing all of this, and yet our beams by so, and our players are walking forward. Obviously, now the fight's won, you switch to make sure they can't salvage on our medic mode. Let's see, does our medic get caught to the scout? Does he? Can someone kill the scout?
Gosh,
Guys, kill
crazy.
the scout. Okay. Oh, that was a lot better because your rollouts were a bit better. I would practice the soldier pocket rollout so you can be in your position quicker on the mid. And I don't know how well that scout play will work at a high level, but you guys played around it a bit better that mid. But the key thing would be if you're going to be making proactive plays, your whole team needs to support that play, not let it be a solo mission.
Okay.
Okay, so Damascus, by jumping across here, should have literally been able to clear almost everything. So you can be saying to your team that the space is there to get in. But like, see how long we're taking here? We know they just have spawners in from Blast, and our Roman soldiers jump through to tell us it's free. So why are we being so slow in so, right? Makes sense. Obviously, you don't want to get caught there either, so. Okay, so we feed some players. If you win a mid fight, unless you're chasing players, so lower can be a good option because if one player comes back and spamming so, that's a lot more of a threat than one player coming back and spamming all this space you have on grass. So just something to think about. The main thing being, if your flank is through and has told you guys there's nothing on second, get in. Don't stay in the door for ages. Let's see. Okay, get a bit of a messy fight. We're forced. This is probably going to be quite bad for us because our teammates are still on spawn timers. Yeah. Main reason there is because you fed 2 flank players. One, because they went a bit too deep, but 2, when they got in and cleared the space, you guys didn't actually get in with them. Again, I would say walking lower is a good option a lot of the times if you win the mid. And you haven't like team wiped the team and you're trying to get straight to last. Be careful when you do this, like, oh, I'm behind them thing, because what you could end up accidentally doing is just again and again feeding players. And Red drops the Uber. It's funny. It's not bad, but what you can do sometimes is get into this habit of spawning up. One of you stuck behind, you try to salvage, and then you guys are playing like a perpetual 4v6 or 5v6. But hey, you drop the med. Same sort of thing when we try to push back out the second before. Make sure we know that players can be in behind us if we haven't been in that space, because this soldier has just created a nuke behind you guys. You guys are trying to walk lower without having anything in sword to watch the wraparound. Okay, so we settle into a roughly evens. Is an ad you guys can choose to play off. I don't think I've asked you guys, how comfortable are you with knowing what the Uber situation is?
I can tell pretty much most of the time that when we have ad and when we don't.
Mm-hmm. So this is definitely a pushable ad, 30%, but we're playing extremely passive all the way on bats. This doesn't really make
Yeah.
sense. The bats play doesn't make sense, so I have a feeling you guys don't know what an even Uber second hold looks like. The one it used to be a time where Demoman would hold Saw, but these days it's mostly changed to Demoman holds these two lower doors. You have your scouts up on the fence, and you have playing a double soldier Saw. So it might be one on the pipe, one cheese, or both on the pipe. So both soldiers will spam this. Your Demoman will watch your lower, and your scouts will play on the fence, and then medic you can stand on or around the logs. So that way you're able to heal up your soldiers to 300 here and keep your scouts healthy. Back here on the bats is generally where you play if you expect you're going to get either sacked onto or you're on disad. Okay, we move forward, which is good. But obviously, we've lost that 30% window now because we were already in a passive position. I think what you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but this looked like is you've gone, oh yeah, this is ad, guys. We can push. You guys have walked all the way over to Saw, and then you've lost your ad, and they're already in behind you. That would be my
Yeah,
guess as
probably
to what has
true.
just happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now
Sure.
this is just a messy trade. It looks better for them because they're a player up, but we have spawners coming back. Key thing in Uber trades, try to end the trade in strong position. So Hamlet's got the right idea. He's ending on... As a medic, you want to end preferably in high ground or good position. But in the worst case, at least make sure you're not ending against a wall where you'll take loads of splash damage.
Yeah.
And target focus is really important in these messy Uber fights. Don't know where Adam's going. This is pretty bad. He wins a 1v1, but, you know, you're coin flipping a 1v1 DM fight over just collapsing on the players that are stuck in with your team. I would say just to prioritize cleaning up the people that are actually in the fight. I know it's obviously, it feels weird to review someone that's over there killing two people on his own and tell him he's done something wrong, but look at the situation. This is put your team in on the point if you just actually took the numbers fight on second and killed them. Okay. Okay, so once they're capped second, then we don't have any sort of advantage. We should not be even like entertaining being in lobby here, really. Should be an out, especially on even Ubers when they have the point. You guys should already be setting up your sentry gun. Getting onto sniper, doing your normal last hold. I guess I can quickly go over last holds for you guys as well, because you knew. If you're on disad, a lot of teams will stick a heavy on top of the point with a medic, and you run to the opposite spawn door that the enemy uses in. So if they come through shutter, you run to the right spawn. If they come through top left, you run to the left spawn. Make sure your soldiers are healthy on these disads because they'll be the ones that jump to block the point once your team try and get out of spawn. On evens, that's when you can, on this map, the meta is almost certainly engineer sniper. The evens gun spot is right here because it watches all the sacks into last. Your demo man will be responsible for holding top right, and this is roughly where your sniper will be playing as well. Your medic will then play either here or at the bottom of the stairs. I myself play at the bottom of the stairs, and what you do then, you put a dispenser for the medic to sit inside to use as armor if the soldier manages to get through, because then obviously you can absorb a rocket or two with the dispenser to try and not have your Uber forced if they sack. Two dispenser spots will be at the bottom of these stairs or at the top, depending on what your team likes. I like the bottom of the stairs because higher level teams might try to get their sniper to peek shutter, and if I'm down here, I can't get sniped. So if you gun here, dispenser there with your medic, demo man sniper top right, and then you double soldier left side. So you can have one soldier watching drop down and the other soldier watching lower. If you stand here, you'll be getting constant heals from your medic to spam lower and keep them out, because that's the main spot where your engineer's gun can get threatened. So you'll have a soldier watching lower and a soldier watching left side. Those are your 2 holds for Snake. Obviously, we're just sat on Scout, which is obviously what a lot of new teams will do. But if you're playing like other lower div teams, if you get the last hold down for Snake Water, it will be like maximum security prison. No one in, no one out. You'll be resetting the rounds all the time, which is what you want when you're defending your last. Seems like this Adam person likes to have a lot of fun on the flank. Don't do it. You're just gonna feed. Even if I've played with players like this because it's frustrating because they obviously have very good DM and then they just take fights they shouldn't be taking, and we lose our medic to the sniper. So yeah, as a medic or a demo man, you should know that crossing this line's a big no-no if it's evens and they're going to be sniping into your last, because obviously this sniper angle is ridiculously strong. So just don't even give him the sight line. I would seriously consider going through what I just said with how you actually hold last and even Ubers. And assume we just lose the round off the back of this Uber push. Yep.
Question.
Yep.
I see the sniper looking at the right side. So what should I do from there? I'm not supposed to peek the sight line. Do I just have a staring contest of the door until he goes away? What if we
What class
need
you,
to
sorry?
push?
What class you, sorry?
Demo.
So your job as demo man is to lock this door. You don't necessarily have to apply spam into lobby. If you're given the freedom to do so, it means you put a lot more pressure on them. But ultimately, your job as demo man is to lock down this doorway. So really, you don't actually have to peek into that sniper at all. You can just sit here applying spam like this. Or if the
Right.
sniper's cold somewhere else, you can apply spam deeper into lobby. But ultimately, you're responsible for defending this door. You don't have to dive deep and peek into lobby as demo. Peeking deep into lobby as demo man. Yeah. Let's rewind this. Okay. Back on the mid. See what we go for this time. We got a soldier in our kitchen. I've seen it done. I would say, is All-Star Dunce here, your pocket soldier?
No.
No.
Okay, get him off the low ground here. This is really bad. He needs to be up on here. Obviously, shooting rockets upwards as soldier, you're just not going to do damage or reliably hit splash damage. Get him to get his pocket rollout done. So that way, so how do I put this? He's having to shoot extra rockets on his rollout to compensate for his bad rockets in spawn, which is meaning by the time he arrives in mid, he doesn't have crit heals. So he's not getting made 300, because right now he should be 300 HP and then jumping up to here. So he sat here on a good position to spam with like 280 health. Instead, he's on the floor with 200 health. That's a big one. If you get that rollout down, you'll have a lot more spam from your pocket soldier. Again, we lose our soldier in kitchen and the mid's just over. So one thing I would say is practice your rollouts. I perhaps went a bit too much into detail with the messy first mid because you guys seem to go to the right spots now. But the main one, get your soldier off the floor and have a plan for the mids as a team, whether or not it's going to be a spam mid or insta bomb, or because some of these mids look a little bit lost on what the plan is. Okay, so yeah, an example of what you said now, you could feasibly, in this situation, have your medic and scout safely build in on the lobby ramp to actually see what's happening, as opposed to out to last. Because what you guys would know if you had that forward info right now in lobby is, guys, second's completely free, we can play this. Especially because their medic died on the mid, right? So right now, our entire team can be on the doors inside second, not out to last. Anyway. Okay, so we should recognize we're in a full Uber ad situation here. But it doesn't look like we do because we're playing really passive on bats. I want to see you guys playing a lot more aggressive when you actually have an Uber advantage. Your your flank scouts feeding again. Yeah, so I don't know if no one has communicated that the meds died on the mid, but we should be the ones doing something here, not playing all the way passive on our bats. We have a full Uber advantage that we've let go waste. And again, look at the positions I told you to end when it isn't, and you get sniped. So You know, unfortunate, but ultimately this situation should have never happened because you guys should have been looking to push here. You had your second, you had full Ubrad to push into mid, but we're playing passively on our bats, which is just, you know, fundamentally wrong, and that probably stems from someone not communicating that the med died on the mid. So looks like this might just be a roll through again with a full Ubrad. Yeah. Do a good job of trying to stall and defend, but yeah, we lose. Full Ubrad too strong. Back on the mid. Going for the scout behind again. I think this time the enemies might be ready for it though. Okay, why is your pocket sold? Did he? Actually, I want to see what's happened here. This seems like an important thing to immediately get right, so you guys actually have a better chance on your mids. What goes on in this rollout? Okay, so one, you need to practice rocket jumping, but two, you've not given him a bow on the rollout. Pocket soldier rollout needs to be fixed. So you guys actually have a good, healthy 6v6 start to the mid, because you're literally playing a 5v6 right now, and you have flank scouts behind. And notice how the enemy team are more ready for him to do it this time, so it gets completely shut down. This mid's already over because you guys are down 2 players. One didn't make it to mid and one fed. So we should be out. We shouldn't even be in right now. Lose another guy. And you guys seem to be still hanging around a little bit. So your priority as the medic and scout now needs to be leave. Yeah? And if you have to let your down man die for it, you should. Because now we all get caught in. When as soon as we're down 2, we're immediately out to passive positions on second instead of sitting around in. So imagine this just again snowballs to a round win. Yeah, so all in all, a lot of these round losses have just been off snowballs from the mid fight because you guys haven't actually had a good mid fight or even a good start to the mid fight. You know, like give yourselves a chance by getting the rollout down. Pocket Soldier again hasn't received heals on the rollout. Yeah. So I'd use what I give it a reference at the start for how you actually handle your rollout as a team. Pocket Soldier can practice his pocket rollout as well. Just make sure everyone's in the right positions at the start of the mid and healthy. And then you guys can start planning stuff for the mids. Once you have get into the mid properly and healthy down, you can start practicing having plans as a team for the mid fight. As boring as it is, I would again say you should be setting up a last defense here. Snakewater last is incredibly difficult to get out of unless you have picks, like a lot of picks or big Ubrad and picks. It's just a difficult last to get out of. This sack into the med doesn't really make sense because neither medic has yet. Like puts your team in a spot where they're down a player. Same as this scout being in cheese. Again, in this downtime here, where you guys have no realistic chance of getting out of last, you could have set up a level 3 sentry gun dispenser. You could have a sniper set up top right, everyone healthy. But instead, we're like messing around getting out of lobby. So just more discipline in transitioning between fights and defending. And someone put your flank scout in a leash as well. And because our last hull isn't set up properly with 2 healthy soldiers on the left side, the enemy team are allowed to walk in shutter for free without even using. So now you found yourselves in a position where they've managed to get all the way to your point and take a trade. It's still looking good for you guys because you have a pick here. But their beam should never be this far into Snakewater last without being forced. And we drop Uber, which is unfortunate. But, you know, your combo should never have been put in this position where they're under so much pressure through the other door. Because, you know, you should have 2 healthy soldiers here watching the left side. Well, I've talked through that. You guys can take a look at that. Pretty rough one. Went pretty quickly. There were some promising things on the mid fight, though. A lot of the takeaways from this are quite simple, which is good. Have a look at the other one. What was the other map? And did anyone have
Uh,
any questions for Snake Water I can answer?
Okay. Oh, the next one is process for this map for snake water. Not that I can think of right now. No, that's it. I think I just have to learn the sideline, like proper holds, and that's like the biggest thing. I think we have to learn
Yeah,
how to
yeah,
hold properly and when to not waste an Uber ad.
yeah. Well, I mean,
Wait,
I did like a mini map talk inside that demo review, but if it's something you guys need, I can do a map talk sometimes, or actually explain how the map's meant to be played and where you play and stuff.
can
If you're
we can we not do
go ahead.
sunshine?
Sunshine?
Yeah,
This
sure. If you want to
one,
send me a different demo, this is one of the ones you guys sent me.
I
Yeah,
prefer
where
the
is this
process
one?
one.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
no, no, no! I accidentally mistaken process for sunshine. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay.
So are we
Cause
reviewing this Sunshine game or not, guys?
Oh no, we
I
lose.
mean, I
I don't
don't
think we
even know the rollout or even the call out for this map.
no, he knows,
Ah,
but
okay.
he was trolling after a while because the team is
Okay.
kind of losing a
Well,
while.
options are I can watch this, or we can stop, or I can map talk this map. Yeah, up to you guys. Or you can find me another demo.
map
Process.
talk right now. I
Is
think is the
Sunshine
best.
a new friendly map?
Oh, what?
It has a lot of similarities process and the way it's played. It's not a complicated map. Yeah, Sunshine isn't a complicated map. It's quite similar to process in some ways. It's not a map I'd say Snake Water's a less makes sense to newbies map than Sunshine. What I would say is the rollouts can be a bit harder on Sunshine for the Roma. But other than that, Sunshine isn't, it's not a map you have to hide from and be scared of. It's not the most complex sixes map in TF2 at all. Up to you
Okay.
guys, but obviously decide because limited time and such.
Yeah. I think a sunshine demo, a map review, or map talk. It's fine.
Sure, why not? Just proceed
Yeah.
with Sunshine.
Yeah. Let's mix it up a bit. Demo reviews
Okay,
over. Yeah.
sounds good. Map
Nice.
CP. And I assume you guys do play Sunshine in Asia Fortress. Is it Asia Fortress you play, or are you guys just scrimming for now?
It's preseason. It's only preseason, but we plan on on doing on partaking in the league. Yeah.
And it is Asia Fortress you guys play, I
Yeah, it's
assume.
Age of Fortress. Sorry,
Yeah.
I kind of gave a nothing answer. I think it
Obviously
starts.
I've never actually done anything with Asia Fortress particularly.
Fair.
So I don't know, but I assume this is consistently in your map pool.
Yeah,
I
map
do
books are
not
pretty much the
know
same.
the map
Yeah,
pool for Asia
Uh,
Fortress.
we can double check it. Actually, that's probably a good idea. I'm pretty sure it's in this last seasons as well.
Yeah, sunshine is in the map pool.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think my TF2 has crashed. Classic TF2.
Uh, yeah.
Okay, let's restart TF2.
If I kind of recall correctly, like Asia Fort map pool is a lot more smaller for some reason.
How
Oh.
many? I don't know if you guys. Is it all your first season? I don't suppose you'd know. What is it? You guys play like restart my TF2. Sorry. You guys play like best of threes, like for a few weeks for a season. Is that how it works?
Well, some of us came from Highlander
Mm-hmm.
and we just get interested into sixes, so we wanna try
That's not the question
sixes.
he asked, man. I think
Oh,
he's
okay.
asking how to win Ross form. I think it is a best of three. I have three maps in total.
So
I haven't done any research, but I assume if you guys are playing Sunshine, it is a map Asia are playing this season. It'd be
Yeah.
funny if it isn't. But
I
I
do
don't
not
think Sunshine's ever been out for EU. I think maybe we didn't have it for one season because we were just trying other maps.
Yeah, I see. Fair enough.
Let's see. Let's see if my game crashes this time.
I recall correctly, Asia Fort League plays like best of three. Even in like qualifiers, it was best of three. But at the grand finals, it's obviously best of five.
best of three means
Three
Okay.
maps.
oh okay.
Okay, Snakewater map talk, beginner edition. I'll do everything. I'll do a quick run through the map, and then I'll start talking about holds and pushes. So, Snakewater is similar to Process in the sense that this is. That's right. I suppose actually quickly I can do callouts. Quickly I can do callouts. So on mid, this is called in EU. Obviously, these take this with a pinch of salt because this is what we call them in EU. But I don't think anything's like madly different in other leagues. Like America, I think
fine.
mostly use the same callouts as us. This is Bell, like up there specifically, not just on the point. So Bell point. You have under point. You have Tetris and Hut. So obviously, depending on what side of the mid you're fighting from, it'll be our Tetris or even red Tetris, blue Tetris, and red
Oh,
Hut, blue Hut.
I call that Shack.
Yeah, Shack very well might be the call out for you guys. But it's Shack, Hut, Shed, whatever you want to call it. This would be Tetris. You have above calf. I'm surprised there isn't actually a quicker call out for this, but above calf or above calf. Other than that, that's mostly it. Obviously, the entrances into mid, you have Choke and Valley. Or some, actually, you might hear this called Valley or Flowers as well. Some people call this Flowers.
Wait, isn't the the top part valley whatever you're pointing at right now? Oh, earlier. I don't know.
Mhm.
Just like at the entrance, there's this little.
Some people
like-
might call this bit right here Valley, and then more up here Flowers, because obviously it's the Flowers shop.
Oh, I thought.
Generally
I thought-
speaking, you'll be safe covering anywhere from here to here as Valley as a call out.
Right, but what do you call
gonna
like the level
here?
above here? Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone call out this position specifically, unless maybe this is what some people refer to as Flowers. That might be the case.
Yeah.
I can truthfully say through all of my play in TF2, I haven't heard anyone try to call out this spot in particular. This might be what some people refer to in Flowers in NA. In EU, anything from this door to that door is just Valley. And then, I don't know, Valley Pack if you're talking about down there specifically.
Right.
I'm sure someone else might be able to answer your question. In the teams I played in, no one even calls out up here specifically. Sorry, I don't have a better answer for that, but
No, it's alright.
that's what it is for us. You have obviously, so you have Valley, you have Choke. Over this here, this entrance, as I said, is Calf or Cafe. Pick your variation. Those are your ways into mid. And obviously, on into second, you have Cafe again. You have Choke, you have Valley. You have Plat or Concrete. Sometimes they'll call this Concrete and this Plat or Behind Point. This might be called Grass. Down here is called Dungeon. Obviously, this is the point. This will be called Shutter. This will be Bats. So down here is called Lower. And those are all our callouts for second. Coming into lobby, this whole area is lobby. You have upper lobby and left side lobby. People might call this lower lobby, but often this will just come under the dungeon callout. And coming into last, this is generally quite simply called out. This will be top left. There really isn't many calls at all for the last on this point. Some people might call this barrels. You have top left. You have boxes over there. Not too sure what people in Asia Fortress will call up here. I've heard this called a whole bunch of things. I've heard this called nests. I've heard this called heaven. I've heard this called rafters. If you guys are playing together, you can decide on a call out for this or ask an Asia player what they call up here. Other than that, last is pretty much call what you see. Really aren't many specific callouts for last other than just behind point, top left, top right, barrels. So callouts in Sunshine are pretty simple. They're mostly call what you see. The major ones to remember are this area is called Calf and this area is called Valley, and the rest is pretty much call it as you see it. Starting with holding last, and then we'll push out and talk about mid fights and pushes and defending different points. There's a few different approaches to holding last on this map. The one that's catching on the most at the moment in EU is to have a sentry gun here with a pyro. And then obviously the role of the pyro is to just deflect any spam coming for the sentry gun from top left. You can then have your dispenser on top of the barrels here. And that will be the home to your medic as well. Optionally, you can move that dispenser to over here, but then bear in mind your pyro's going to have to get air blast ammunition from this box or walk away from top left. So those are your two options depending on if you find people are getting in top left or not. So you have pyro, engineer gun, dispenser here or here with your medic inside of it. You have double soldier right side and down man top left. Alternatively, on this hold, and this is what we use, you'll have your demo man controlling the right doorway, and then you'll have your soldier on top left with those. And so it'll be a demo soldier right side for a stronger hold, because the philosophy being a 300 HP soldier and a pyro is enough to hold this doorway. If you don't like playing pyro and you want to play sniper instead, the other setup is to have your dispenser here, the sentry gun on the front of point to deny bombs from dungeon and top left. And then you can have either your, again, double soldier right side, and with this hold, you're going to have double soldier right side, demo man top left, and then you're going to have your sniper player work around and play for picks as a sniper. That'll usually look like your sniper looking into right side lobby. Tip, if you put a teleporter down as engineer, the sniper can see over these into right side lobby, if that's something you want to do. So those are your two main options for holding last. You have your sentry gun pyro hold, top left, or you can have your sentry gun down there with a sniper walking around if you don't want to play pyro. Getting out of Sunshine last with picks or an Uber advantage is a lot easier than Snake. If they're down a demo man, bringing your combo out of Shutter is an option. Otherwise, you'll usually walk your combo out of bottom left. Obviously, make sure you're leaving behind a soldier and a scout just to lock the doors coming into last. And beware of the dungeon as well. Don't just think because you're holding lobby you're safe, because obviously dungeon's an option for them to come into last. If you're pushing out with a big ad, options can be to push with an Uber out of lower lobby and try to catch them before they run away to CAF if they're deciding to play over here. Otherwise, a lot of the time, it'll just be a case of get out of any doors, make sure you don't leak players, and just cap the point as a priority. When you're holding second, generally you're going to have your demo man here. He's responsible for locking CAF and also applying spam through the choke. You'll have your soldier playing here CAF as well, your pocket soldier playing CAF. Your medic can be around this area with a scout, and then your flank is responsible for holding Valley. So that can be either, a soldier on top of the fence or just spotting it.
Question.
If you... Go ahead.
If I have to hold alone, like at CAF or anywhere
Mhm.
else, I
Mhm.
and I miss my sticky traps, a scout pops up. Is my only option to two-pipe him or die?
No, you're here with your medic who will be putting the beam on you. You'll have the pocket scout
Okay.
here to help as well if any players leak.
So I have
And
to
remember,
rely
your
on my
pocket soldiers...
scouts.
Yes. Realistically, this door is so small that if you and your pocket soldier let a single scout through you, you deserve to die. But
Sure.
yeah, to answer your question, no, you'll have your combo with you. You'll have your medic here, you'll have your scout here, and even your pocket soldier to splash the floor, etc.
Aye.
I wouldn't worry about single scout plays. The play you're mostly going to see is a soldier high bomb through choke. And then that will look like, usually this will be focused on the medic, but be prepared for it actually being a demo pick. If they notice your medic's like standing way too far away from you, they might just choose to kill you. Just be aware of it. That's the sacks you're really going to see. Another play, I don't know if you'll see this in like open division, but another play people like to do is they'll bomb a soldier through choke as if they're sacking for your medic, and then this soldier will instead curve around and land on your flank in Valley to try and, collapse on the players inside Valley and kill them. Just be aware that's something people can go for. So that's sort of your normal ad hold. Your dis-ad will be your medic and scout on here, ready to leave for last. Obviously, same sort of thing with Snake did years. We're still in enough for them to want to use the Uber, but out enough so we don't get caught in and die when they do. Another option is your medic stands in the shutter entrance, but then he relies on his team to give him info because he can see less from this position. And let's see. Pushing out a second with Uber advantage. Otherwise, obviously, you're not really going to be pushing out unless it's player advantage. You can take an Uber through choke, simple. You can take an Uber through CAF to try and catch the players when they try to leave mid if they're not prepared for it. And the other option is to take it slow Valley. Important thing to keep in mind, your flank being healthy and watching the doorways are important when pushing out a second, because the round's going to reset. I've got bad config. The round's going to reset. But what happens is you go to take this Uber through one of the doors that isn't choke. And then you'll find a few players from the enemy team, instead of running away, they just run through the other door and backcap you, and it can just create a bunch of chaos. So make sure your flank, when you go for these pushes, your flank are healthy and in proper positions to watch the door. So for example, we want to take Demoman Scout through CAF to catch their players as they try to leave mid. Make sure your flank are healthy and spot in Valley, otherwise the enemy can choose to send players behind to start a back cap when you're all the way over there taking an Uber into mid. Does that make sense? So just something to keep in mind. You can get back capped pushing out of second on Sunshine. When you're on mid, looking to push into second, your general positioning will be your Demoman choke, applying spam. Or if you're doing something in particular, the Demoman might walk to Valley to apply spam or walk to Calf to apply spam. But the default position will be your Demoman will be choke applying spam. Your medic will be somewhere around here, is where he feels comfortable. You'll have a scout up here, spotting Valley, or just a soldier up here, spotting Valley. And you'll have something, whether it's your Roman or pocket soldier in Calf, spotting Calf. And then your pocket scout can just fill the gaps, either just play on the shed and wait, or help your soldier in Calf if he needs it. Obviously, you're the one's going to be proactive if you're holding aggressively here, so you might want to send sacks. Your sack options are, like I said, the bomb through choke and onto second here. Or you can, there's a skip jump you can do through Valley. I'm not a soldier player, so I won't do it. But there are ways to get in through Valley or Calf. Obviously, similar sort of thing where I was talking about on the Snakewater mids. If you're going for these sacks, try to make sure you're applying pressure. So make your soldiers healthy, ready for the sack. And then then tank your demo man in choke so you can start going for damage, spam on them, obviously with stickies, spam onto the medic to try and cause a bit of damage to make the sack more likely to come off. Other options are obviously you can just get in out of calf if the demo man's not locking the door properly. Obviously, just like any other map, your job here is to start sending sacks until something goes in your favor. Variations can be to try and just brute force it through calf if you guys have better spam. But generally, those are your default positions and you're sending sacks. If you're on disad, the way I like to play it is for our medic to be sat nice and comfy on here. So he can leave calf when they push in. Scout up on Tetris, he can build with the medic whilst you guys are on disad. And then you have your soldiers either in a position to spam and leave, or they can, go for salvage. How do I put this? I'm not sure what the exact word is. It's kind of a sack. I'd say we just say, dying for their meds. So the idea being, you guys are going to leave your combo and then just have one soldier kill himself with the intention of making them use Uber for that mid. Obviously, you don't want to let them in for free, so you have your soldiers in positions like this, just applying spam onto the choke, so they have to use Uber to get into mid, and then you can run away your medic through calf into second. Important things to know, if their combo crosses here, be aware that what could happen is if they come through here for free, they can run all the way through Valley and catch your team trying to run away to second through calf. So make sure you call out early if their combos coming that way, because we need to start leaving straight away. Otherwise, what can happen is you're sat here, they're sat there, and suddenly there's no way for you to get out all the way to your lobby without them catching you. Just make sure it's called out if their combo heads to calf instead of the other ways. So those are your disad positions for holding mid. That's everything then, actually, in terms of pushing and holding. So mid fights on Sunshine. There's two ways you can roll out. Your demo man can go Valley, or you can go choke. A choke rollout will look like this, and you just arrive on the mid. And like process, it's a rotate mid, so you pick a side and start walking that way. Valley to right side is a bit of a weird one. If you're going to go right side, usually you'd go choke, but it is an option. For example, if you roll out Valley and you see they roll out choke and they're coming into you, you might want to just take this space. So at the start of the mid, you call where you're rolling out and what side you plan to walk. So as an man, for example, from Valley, you'd arrive here and go, they're going right side, let's take space left, and then the demo will walk, applying spam like this. Your scouts will jump up here, and then you'll have your Roman soldier up there or up there, and you guys just basically rotate and take space until there's something which makes you want to just take a fight with the enemy. So a player being caught out of position, your demo man calling good damage, etc., etc. Things to keep in mind, as a combo, do not spend a lot of time behind you, preferably none at all, because this is called the death corner, for obvious reasons. There's a big wall, so you can't go anywhere, and you'll just take a bunch of spam behind you. And you basically, by standing here as a combo player, you're saying, please, please, enemy team, bomb me. So don't spend a lot of time behind there. in the perfect world, you're allowed to walk across the point like this, and you have all the space in the world. But sometimes you might have to cross behind there. If you do, make it quick. Another thing to keep in mind, if you're walking this way, their Roman soldier might roll out calf and just hide here to wait for you to go for this rotation, and then just walk out on your combo. So just something to keep in mind. If you don't see all 6 players on the mid, anticipate that could be what's happening. So that's the left side mid from the demo man. Right side mid is very similar. You walk here, and similar to how I said, when you go Valley, you're sort of planning to walk left. Similar sort of thing where if you go choke, you're planning to walk right as the primary thing for what you do when you go choke. And similar things apply. Don't spend a lot of time in this Tetris corner and try to walk and take space if you can. There's 2 types of mids similar to process. If they roll out Valley, this is going to be a quicker fight because you'll be fighting them head on. Whereas if they go there, it turns into a rotational mid. See if I can do it. I don't play soldier, and this is not the easiest rollout, but the Roman rollouts something like this.
Whoa. Okay.
I believe that's the Roma rollout for Valley. Practice
Can it
it.
also function as a bomb?
Yeah, you can. If you're trying to count send, for example, say now they send a double sack into you 1 second and they get nothing and you're up in a 6v4, you may choose to send a counter sack. That's one of the variations you can do to make that sack in the mid. I'd get if you want to get specific soldier mechanic tips, I'd find a soldier player because I'm definitely not one. But yes, it is definitely a way you can bomb into mid. Generally speaking, that's your Roma Valley rollout. Other variations for the Roma will be, like I said, to skip jump the point and then come into calf here and just wait to collapse with your team. And then the choke rollout is you skip jump off this and then, similar to process, you ramp rocket and then land on bell tower or above calf. A lot of the time, your pocket soldier will be the one that wants to go above calf because he'll just get 300 and then jump up here. As a Roma, you'll probably start up here early on the mid, and you can apply spam with your demo man. So like I said, the rollouts on this map can be a bit tricky, but the map itself isn't too complicated. Let's see. So I think that's mid fights, that's rollouts. Anything else you guys want to discuss on Sunshine?
No, I can't think of any. Oh wait, I was like pushing into last before like upending.
Sure. Let's see. So on an ad, common ad pushes into last. Thank you. Yeah, it didn't go through Uber pushes. Common last pushes with ads are to just bust through top right with the Uber, take a demo man and a scout, get in here, prioritize killing the gun or the heavy, and then point and pressure. If you come in top right and you see that there's nothing here, you're immediately taking this Uber across the point into them. Remember, tell your flank players what door you're locking. So, for example, you get in top right, you kill the sentry gun, kill 1 player, and you go, okay, I'm sticky and right. And then that way your team know that this door is locked off. So they should be looking to get in and apply pressure onto the other spawn door. That's like a big Uber ad, top right push, just get in there, get stuff done. Another way you can do is on a big ad, you can try to milk through dungeons. So you walk up like this as far as you can until you need to use. Be aware of soldier players stood here that just drops or forces your med straight away. But an option you can do as a variation, if you know now, because you keep pushing this door, they're starting to play their medic over here. An option you have is to just milk a little bit and then use when you're here, and look, you're already right on top of their team. If you don't want to use and you just want to try and walk it into last, an option is to walk left side without using as much as you can. Be aware of the sniper angles from here, pressuring your medic as he walks in that doorway. Make sure you turn that into either an Uber push or a cancel immediately if you see the sniper. Don't let your medic just walk in and drop to the sniper. Okay, and then options you have when it's even Ubers. Sunshine is a very stalemate-y last where it's kind of hard to get stuff. Generally speaking, you're breaking this last with either a sniper peeking top right or left. Or you can go for an option where you go spy and then sap the gun for your soldiers to sack. Soldier sacks look like there is a speed shot I definitely cannot do, but soldiers can do, where you go off their speed shot through the top left door. I don't know how to do it. You speed shot through this doorway and then you're in for a sack. Other places you can sack from are just a jump from lower. See if I can do it before the timer goes off. And then you don't hit that, but you go for there. Specific actual like sacks for you as a soldier, I would say get someone who plays soldier to help you out with them. But generally speaking, you'll be breaking by letting your sniper player try and work a pick, or by sapping a sentry gun for your soldier to go for a bomb. And that's how you'll sort of break the even Uber situation on the last. I think that's everything then, if we've covered some pushes as well, unless anyone has any questions.
Anyone?
I don't know. I can't think my head.
Actually, how do you deal with a sniper on second? Like we're pushing into that second, and there's a sniper on bats.
Ah, right, yeah, okay.
Oh.
So you've had that in the past where, and for example, it's ad for you in this situation. That would be the usual situation where it's someone spawning up. What, they just come and stand here watching Chalk a sniper?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if everyone on their team is out and it's just the sniper going for a hero pick on your medic, your options obviously are to just get a soldier with pressure on him immediately before your combo walks through the door. I would say if you know they're going to be sniping bats, the safest way to get your combo in is for the calf walk option. Then you walk your beam across point like this, and then your beam doesn't have to peek this. Your other players peek this. And that's your safest way to get the beam in if you know they're sniping bats. You can obviously have a soldier get in through any avenue and then just start applying spam, so that isn't an option for him. You know, so you can just land on him bats and spam it out. But I would say if you know you're going to be walking this into a sniper, then the safest way is, one, to just have a soldier bomb in and go, oh, guys, it's free, let's walk in. Or, guys, there's a sniper on bats, I'm bombing him, and then as soon as that sniper's pressured, you can walk in for free. Or if you know they're sniping, the safest way to walk your combo will be through here, because it eliminates that bats angle. The main threat you might have is a sniper. I haven't seen this in ages, but there is this angle as you walk out calf. Well, I would say, obviously, just don't lead the push with your medic. It's so much better on a full ad push to, like, lose a soldier, or if you have to, a scout, than to just drop your medic. So just be disciplined with the doors you're getting in, that it's not your medic you're losing to get in. And, okay, so this is just sexist theory in general. There's two types of, like, things that'll ever be happening. You'll either be in a transitional, like, you'll be transitioning between positions, or you'll be set up in positions. So moving from mid into second is sort of like the transitional phase. And the goal of that transitional phase is to get yourself into your positions as quickly as possible. So don't like dilly-dally about like getting in and take ages. The goal should be get your explosive classes in and lock the doors immediately. And the quicker you do that, the more like the less messy the game will be. So like if you immediately lock the doors out and you have your demo man on shutter, you have your soldier spamming lower, you've stabilized the game state as quickly as possible, and then you're not gonna die to silly things like random soldier sacks or just snipers hero shotting. Obviously, it will happen. Snipers are really annoying class to play against. You might have your scout go through first, he's cleared it, and then the sniper just peeks at the perfect timing and kills your med. It happens. That was a long-winded answer to your question, but your options are get a soldier in immediately to throw him off if it's free, or just walk your combo this way.
So, which scout usually like switch to either sniper or spy? Is it the flank or the pocket scout?
So actually, I would say that goes to whichever scout is more comfortable on the class in question. For engineer, I would generally say if it's a time pressured situation, it's the scout that spawns first that goes engineer. But when it comes to sniping into last or going spy, it should be the scout that's more happy going for it. So if your flank scout just only likes playing scout and that's how he plays, then obviously your pocket scout will go sniper, and then your flank scout will sort of have to assume the responsibilities of the combo scout whilst you're sniping. So he needs to be more like medic focused in what he's doing whilst your combo scout is sniping. But yeah, it really doesn't matter. I would say whatever scout's most comfortable on the class they're switching to.
I see.
Yo, Doku Sniper?
Double sniper is
Yeah.
banned in 6v6.
This is your
Wait,
time.
what? Sniper is what?
Double sniper's banned. There's a class restriction
no,
of one
oh.
sniper in sixes. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Wait, actually, that's kind of strange. I thought only like medic and engineer and demo were the
Actually,
only
most of the
bad
classes are single. So every off class is one restricted, except you're allowed 2 spies.
Oh, why?
Yeah. Well, so in ETF2L's rule set, I don't want to say anything too
Well,
quickly, but I'd imagine Asia's the same.
I see. Makes sense. Yeah, I mean, people are against off-classing, but why is like two spies allowed, anyways?
I guess it's just because spy isn't that useful of a class. You're kind of shooting yourself in the foot more by going 2 spies.
Yeah.
And I think they didn't put more than that because then you could just do like silly like back cap cheese or whatever.
Okay. Hmm.
Okay. Are there any more questions or am I done?
If anyone, I don't have any, but if anyone else has any, then we
I
shoot.
don't
If
know. I
not, I
don't
think it is.
have anything.
Okay, random one. Do you know
Oh,
any
yeah.
cheeky spots on Sunshine for sticky traps?
Oh, okay.
Let's see. I don't play. I'm a medic player, but let's see. I know there's a few. There's a few because I've died to them. So let's see. On the last, not really. Okay. What demos will do on the last is they'll come and put their stickies inside the cone.
Classic.
Yeah. Okay, and then they might go, "Oh, point's clear. I'm gonna cap point," and then they'll die to that. I've seen it be done. Let's see. Nothing really funny in lobby. Not really. You just sort of put them on the shutter. Think this is a thing you can still do.
Ooh.
That can work if they hug this. Up here being an option as well. They might not see this coming around this corner. Placed it a bit wide, really. Obviously, you have the silly thing. You can put the sticks inside the ammo pack lower. Can you still put the sticks in here? Yeah, you can do this. I don't know how practical most of these are, but yeah, you can do those. You can do is this, and then they might clear one and not the other. I don't know. You can put sticks on the roof of the point in here. A lot of the time might not get checked if they're coming in from CAF. That
You
can
can actually
work.
put on the stairs, I think.
On the stairs.
Like the other stairs, left or right side.
Here.
No, the other one. Far back, yeah. Close dungeon, close dungeon. So,
Or like put them like this.
no. Like when you climb upstairs, right here, yeah, and then there's the wall right behind
Well,
when you walk up to the
like this.
stairs.
Like that.
No. I mean, like, yeah, here, yeah, there.
Or like this.
Sometimes it does catch off.
Yeah, that can work. But if they're not like all coming through one door, you might get caught. They might have someone from back to
I
clear
might as
that.
well trap shutter at that point.
You can also trap on the fences, the top
This
of the
is a
stairs.
bit. This is a big one. Careful when you're coming through CAF of this trap in the window. And then because it's like a major thing that gets cleared. You know, your scout comes wide and clears this. I'm sure you can place them better. Let's see.
Wait, what about the fence on the right?
There we go. These are like so disgustingly hard to see that your scout has to clear these before you like walk your medic in and just die to them. We call this like the window trap because like everyone just knows it. Obviously, you have these stupid traps. These work a lot actually because you're not going to see them as you're coming out of
Birchy?
CAF. Yeah.
What about the fence on the right side cafe?
This.
No, right side. Yeah, there's a little small fence. No, yeah. This little cheeky
I mean,
trap.
I don't know if people are going to walk this wide, but it could work.
There's also
Especially if
the
they're
little,
what you could do is you could put a few in there, so then they think that's your trap, and then either lay this or the one you said on the fence.
right. There's also the lamp on top in front of cafe. Yeah, like no. I mean like close there. Yeah, it does catch people off sometimes.
Yeah, I think this one will catch people off because it's sort of very deep for sticks to be as demo man. Obviously there's the stupid ones. Like I don't know why you're just being funny if you're going for these ones. I don't think those are practical. There's the sticks in here can work. Can you not do this anymore? They changed the clip in. You used to be able to stick your sticks in there, I think.
too strong.
Still works. Still this then I guess. Just
Yeah,
these can
also
have
works on right side.
there you go. Yeah, like these can have sticks in them.
That. I think the
That's-
exploded origin radius will get destroyed by that, so I'm not gonna use it.
Yeah.
Would it?
And there's all sort of places you can hide sticks inside the point. I don't know. I don't play Devil, man.
Oh yeah, it's not only for the medic to count Ubers, it's also Pocket Scout needs to count the Uber as well.
It can be anyone really.
I think it's best for me because I can see it directly. Obviously, yeah. Still, I think it's my responsibility.
I would say it's primarily a med's responsibility. Everyone should develop the ability to have a feeling for what the Uber situation is, but then your medic should have an exact count of what the actual Uber situation is. So, like, obviously, your team should know this is ad for us, but like your medic should know, oh, it's 30 ad for us, or etc.
Yeah, it's just I think for me like I don't know how many estimates like the
Okay, yeah. So when it comes to like estimating Ubers as medic, the fastest you can build an Uber is 40 seconds. A realistic Uber charge rate for medics will be 50 seconds. Might even be lower in like these longer in these lower division matches. But I count off the enemy medic hitting 50 seconds to build their Uber.
I see.
So what you do is whenever some significant like some significant event has happened, like either how do I put this? Their medic respawns or their medic Uber ends. You have a look at the server timer at the top and go, not the round timer, because obviously the round timer can change when a point is capped. But you look at the server timer and go, okay, the medic's at 0 at 8:50. Then the earliest their medic's gonna have Uber is 8:10, and realistically they're gonna have it at 8. That's so you count with the server timer. If you use the solemn vow, obviously you can have a peek at the medic every now and then, but don't rely on that as your way to get the medic's percentage. Rather, like the solemn vow will happen where it's an even Uber situation in quotation marks, but then you see like during a fight you've got 15% ahead of the enemy medic by looking at him. And you guys go like, oh guys, this is 10 ad. Let's just use and kill the med, right? Like that's like what you can do is sort of like higher level medic gameplay.
Right. But there's also another case where the Met lives alone and the Met isn't building because he's not with anyone.
Yeah. So what you can do is sort of gauge have a look at the amount of time the medic hasn't been building from, and then do your calculations off that. Stuff like that, I think, is like complicated. The baseline I would get comfortable accurately checking what the medic's percentage could be,
Oh, so
and
it's
then
better
for that.
to
Can we go
wow.
stupidly deep for one medic pick after mid fight?
Sorry, what was someone's question?
So
Like
is
we
it
win mid fight, but the medic runs away. Is it okay to go stupidly deep to kill him if he's got no teammates?
I would
or one?
say the people that are like chasing this medic, it should be proportional to the like how many people you need to still continue pushing, right? So like if you win like a mid fight like hard, right, and you guys are like all lived and they only have 2 left, yeah, sure, you can send 2 or 3 people to chase. If you win a mid fight like and there's 3 of you, there's like 4 of you left and 2 of them left. If you lose 2 players, you are like actually quite hindering your guys' ability to just lock them inside their last. For example, if those 2 players get eaten up straight away and then they have spawners, they'll be able to refight second, right? So the answer is it depends. If you guys have a lot more players than they do, yes, you can afford to like risk losing some players to chase. If it's a bit tighter, obviously be careful chasing for the medic.
But
I
it's
think someone else
holding.
was asking something.
Yeah, but if it's like the Met, if it's the case to say that it's evens, but the Met was somehow like holding a lot more passive, I guess you could just like play off heals because the Met's baiting his team and the teammates not getting heals.
Yeah. Another thing to bear in mind as medic, and you'll notice this in fights, is if you're using arrows a lot and not beaming, just be aware if their med isn't arrowing as much as you are, they're going to be like squeezing out an Uber ad, right? So like That's a big one. So here's a bit of thing. If you're a higher level medic, you'll be on the mid fight and you'll be observing, right? You'll be healing and you'll be doing your stuff. You'll notice that their medic is hourring a lot on the mid fight, for example. So in your head, you're like, damn, their medic's hourring a lot. Let me have a peek at what percentage he is and go, oh guys, it's 20 ad. And you'll get to see that you've built a 20 ad just by having more beam time than him. And then it allows your team to play off the small advantage. I do assume you play with the Solemn Vow medic.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I thought,
And
I
you
thought
and you
arrows
do,
still give Uber.
yeah, they do, just at a slower rate, unless under specific scenarios. But yeah, generally, if their medic is hourring a lot, they're going to be building Uber slower than a medic that's just beaming. So yeah, those are ways you can use the Solemn Vow. This is getting into like stuff that's perhaps a little bit too unnecessary to think about at this point.
I'll keep it in mind. So thank you.
Yeah. So you can either generally to count Ubers more accurately, you do some math on the server time, or you get a HUD where you can count the Uber percentages. So for example, I use the HUD. I should use the server timer more, but well, I use the server timer in scenarios where I can't use the HUD. But if you see, this is like a medic HUD, or like I've set up this HUD for medic. It's not that good in other classes. But when you play a medic, can I do this bot underscore? So I have with this HUD the ability to look at targets easily, and the text is nice and big, so it lets me see like enemy meds Uber percentage easily.
Okay.
So get a HUD you're comfortable with, and you can actually see stuff with the Solemn Vow, otherwise you're going to get less value out of it. But at the bottom of my HUD here, for example, when the medic respawns, I'll turn on the counter, and then you see that number at the bottom of my HUD that's creeping up?
Yeah, that's like like time to the that's their percentage.
Yeah, that counts to 100 in 50 seconds. So I use that to know like when the enemy medic can have Uber.
All right.
You can do the exact same thing manually by just looking at the server timer and subtracting 40 seconds. But I just like to have that number there because sometimes doing the math in fights can be difficult.
Yeah.
You should still have the ability to judge off the server timer. For example, if you're dead, this HUD isn't going to work. So you'll have to go off the server timer. So you still need that skill, but it's nice to have this
yeah.
number.
Fair enough.
And obviously, look, I have the text like really big for the enemy medic to see what percentage he actually is.
So is it better, right, to have like slight inaccurate Uber, even though we can't read the Uber correctly? Like we have estimated like slight inaccurate Uber read. I mean Uber estimation.
Try that again. Sorry.
I mean,
What exactly is the question?
is it better like to have inaccurate Uber estimation rather than we don't know what's the Uber percentage is?
Well, it's always best to have the most information you can possible. Because, for example, like just as an example, like a 80 Ubrad situation is a lot like there's a lot less of a time constraint on versus like first of all, I would say pushing stuff at your level with anything less than 30 ad is going to be difficult because you guys aren't going to be quick enough to make the push happen and catch the medic. So like if you know, so then this is where like the accuracy matters, right? If you know it's like a 60 ad, then it means you guys can be a bit more liberal with getting everyone healthy first and then Ubering in and then being able to lock everyone out before they get Uber, right? Versus when it's 30 ad, there's a lot more of a guys, we need to go now, and the medic needs to be a priority of the push. So having those numbers helps a lot. I think the major one for like accurately tracking the why am I getting airshot by a bot? The accurate ones for like knowing like the really specific Ubers, I would just say only take those from getting confirmation from the Solemn Vow. Like pushing like a 10% ad is crazy, right? Unless you see the medic and know it's definitely 10 ad and you can kill him in the time it takes for him to get Uber. I think does that maybe answer your question? I wasn't quite sure exactly what you're asking.
Oh yeah, like I mean I don't know how to estimate Uber. Others there are some people say that usually medic build over about 60 seconds. I don't know.
Uh,
Depends
Okay,
on.
well, so what? It depends on the specific medic and perhaps the skill level of the game you're in. I get the number 50 from 50 is the average Uber build rate for Premiership EU medics, and that does trickle down into the lower divisions as well. I think setting it more than 50 is greedy because you're assuming that the enemy medic is not playing the game properly a bit too much. I think it's 60 seconds. Like a 60-second build time might be the average for a lower division. I wouldn't know to comment, but I that's a whole 20 seconds you're just guesstimating that the enemy medic isn't doing his job properly. Do you know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
think the 60-second Uber estimation might be a bit greedy. If you notice throughout the duration of a match that the medic is consistently taking longer than you think he should be to make Uber, you can start to like go, hey guys, their medic's building really bad. Can we just push this? It's probably bigger than 20 ad, for example. Like you can make those calls. But I wouldn't say. I would say don't default to assuming it's a 60-second build time because I think that's a bit too much.
So it's best to take the median.
Yeah, I think 50's safe. You know, to go with 40, you're probably losing out on opportunities because realistically, a medic's never going to consistently build 40-second Ubers. That's basically like perfect. Well, that is perfect building for an entire 40 seconds. The only time you're ever going to see that is, for example, say now you're on advantage and they're defending last. The likelihood is their medic is sat there building with a soldier or scout, so his build rate will be perfect, right? So you know he's probably going to get in not much more than 40 seconds because all he's going to be doing is building the Uber. As opposed to when fights are happening and he's healing players, he's gonna lose the like optimization, and it's gonna be more like 50 seconds.
So
So
it's
the 50 is the number I've got comfortable with.
So it's fair to consider 50 seconds.
Yeah, that's
Alright.
the number I've gone with. Obviously, if the reason the main thing is if you're taking advantages slimmer than 30%, there's going to be risk in how well you've built versus how well the enemy medic's built. That's why like 30% is like the guideline number people go with for like if it's more than 30% or if it is 30%, then yeah, you can take advantage of that advantage. You'll know quite confidently that it will be an advantage for you. But when it's less than 30%, you're starting to bring in like risk. Maybe they built a bit quicker than you have, etc. I guesstimate that the enemy medic takes about 50 seconds. And I try not to take pushes unless it's 30 ad or more. Perhaps in my divisions, I'll take like 20 ad, but that's because I know my team will be quicker to get in and do stuff than you'll find in your team because it's like a lower division.
All right.
Another thing I would say, if you're gonna try and take a 30 ad push, get your team healthy when you're about 60%, right? Not when you're when you're about 70%, not full Uber, because then you can sort of pop the Uber as soon as you have. Then if everyone's healthy before, you don't want to go. Okay, guys, I have everyone get healthy. We're gonna go. Let's go. And then by the time you're finally in, they have Uber. So that'd be the other thing. Tell people to get healthy. Like so, say now you're in lobby. You're 90%. You're gonna get into their last. People need to be healthy so you can use as soon as you get the Uber, as opposed to okay, guys, I have the Uber. Let's get everyone healthy and then let's go. You don't want to do that on like small advantages. On big advantages, you have time to get everyone healthy and maybe even like peak last to get some info. But on small advantages, get people like healthy before you have Uber and then just take it in. Okay, that was a big rant on medic gameplay. Sorry for the people I had to say.
No. That's
Listen
perfect.
to that. Yeah, it's useful for you, but obviously everyone else feel free to leave. Like if you have stuff you want to do. I've just been going over some medic specifics.
Yeah, it's fine.
I mean, it's important because like it's like the most important class in my opinion that they know at least a little bit about. Maybe.
Yeah, because it's sometimes hard to of medics Uber. Like I don't know the percentage. Like are we is ad or ad?
Well, one thing you can do is that if you want to periodically check for Ubers, like
Don't be afraid to ask your medic like what is the Uber situation.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I always tell
That's
everyone
not a
like before the
stupid
ad.
question to ask. Like you'll find
Yeah.
literally like sorry to cut you off a second, but like you'll find in like high level pugs in EU, you will be asking your medic what the Uber situation is because as a combat class, sometimes you are just too focused on other things to know exactly what's going on with the Ubers. So it's not a stupid question to go like, oh, what's the Uber situation? And that's it. Just go, what's Ubers or what's Uber situation?
Yeah.
That's not a dumb question, and then your medic should have an answer to that. Usually.
I mean, well, when to say is that Hamlet, you can Oh, you should try to periodically just say like check the Uber situations.
Yeah. Main thing I would say is who's main calling?
I guess.
It's supposed to be our demo, a shoe.
Demo, yeah.
Your main
Demo.
caller obviously needs to also be very aware what the Uber situation is. One, your main caller should have a good feel for what the Uber situation is anyway, so then he can make informed decisions. But secondly, he should be the one trying to get that info for medic all the time because what your team is doing is directly influenced by what the Uber situation is. So, your main caller definitely needs to know what the Uber situation is. So that should be something they're getting from you often. Also, like a main caller, for example, for like my team or team I did play on, my main caller is like almost always going to know it's ad or it's disad or it's massive disad or it's small disad. He'll know that. He just won't know the numbers. Like I'll be making those calls to him, so then he can make the decision of what it is the team's going to do. Other calls that medic can make to influence the game is when you're trading in Ubers, you can communicate to your team one, who the Uber's better for, aka if you flashed a lot and they haven't, they're going to have the better Uber. Two, where you're going to end post Uber. And then like three, who's going to be healthier post Uber. Like that's like the impact you can have as medic when you're actually taking fights where both teams have Uber. Other things being you should be able to inform your team when the medic's going to get. So for example, if you all died, and then you respawn like 15 seconds after the enemy medic, you should be able to communicate to your team, like when you're defending your last, expect them to push in 10 seconds because that's when they'll have Uber. Like those are calls you can make. Other stuff, medic theory wise, nothing else is coming to the top of my head. This has just been a bit of a ramble.
By the way, I have a
For main calling is demo, I haven't been playing comp for very long, so in random mixes, I'll be kind of told not to main call. My main calling, the main part is just calling when to Uber with who and where, and just calling whatever I see, damage, where,
Mhm.
even though I don't know when all the call outs.
Yeah.
I'm
So
supposed
I'd
to
say for
start main
entry level,
calling at some point. I've just been kind of asking medic to do it because they don't
Okay.
trust me.
Medic main calling is kind of hard because a higher level medic that's positioning properly won't be able to see stuff.
I
I
know
would
you've said this
say
before.
in fights, your medic is very useful in the sense that they can see everyone's health for the solemn vow to call focus and stuff. And they can tell by your team's health and the enemy's health if there's a good or bad fight. But those don't necessarily have to be main calls. You can say like, "Oh, guys, this is bad for us." So yeah, guys, we win this, get in. Just stuff like that. The main caller, if you want a list of the sort of things as a main caller you're doing, one, you need to tell your team where you are pushing / defending and how you're doing it. Those that's basically what main calling is. So we're holding second disad positions, and then your team should know what that means straight away. That means your combos on bats, you have soldiers in position to sack, or you'll make a call like, we're holding second on disad, we can lose one soldier for this, and then one of your soldiers will sack, and the rest of you will play in what your disad positions are. Or for example, it's even Ubers, just hold second normally, and then people will be playing their normal positions on second. Or it's ad for us, let's take demo scout through choke. And those are the calls you make. Main calling gets easier the better your teammates are, which is obviously a silly question, a silly thing to say, that's obvious. But like when your main caller says, let's take demo scout through choke, your other players should know, okay, as the flank, we'll be watching Valley, and as the other soldier, I'll be watching Calf. And like that information shouldn't usually have to be communicated. But in the earlier like stages of you guys learning sixes, maybe you do have to say that information. Go like, oh, we're gonna take demo scout Uber through choke. Make sure we're watching Valley. And then that'll be enough, and you guys know what you're doing.
right.
That's the cheat sheet to main calling, really. Stuff like taking stuff without Ubers and like taking trades, that stuff is hard, like more complicated, and that comes when you play the game more. But like basic main calling is: are we pushing while we defend it, or are we pushing while we holding, and are we playing passively while we playing aggressively? And then when pushing, you might go a bit more specific as to what push you're taking, and that's about it, really. Obviously, as demo man at the main calling, you'll decide the side on the mids and what your plan is for mid as well. If it's combo scout main calling, they'll often ask the demo man what side he wants to go and then make a plan. But since you are the main caller as demo man, you can choose the side and what you're doing on the mid.
Oh, I see. I never ask my demo man which way he wants to go.
I mean, technically, as the main caller, you have the final say. So if your demo man's like, "Oh, I want to roll out Valley," and you're going like, "No, I want to meet them right side because it's been working for us," then that's up to you. But like a common thing you see, because your demo's first to mid, he has a good indication of what's happening at the start of mids, which you guys don't see, right? So he perhaps has a bit more insight as to like what would work for a mid. That's why he can sometimes suggest the side. Ultimately, it's the main caller's final decision, but it's common for the demo man to go like, "Oh, let's go right side this mid." And then the main caller takes over the call, and then for like the rest. That's convention. That's what you'll see people doing. But hey, if your demo man doesn't care what side he goes, and the main caller calls it. Or if you are the demo man and the main caller, awesome. You're in complete control of everything. Okay, I've gone on a massive rant from random questions. Some of it may or may not have been useful. Is there anything else? Are we done?
Wait, so for sack waves, like if we're sacking in, could the Roman be the main caller for that time?
Say that again, sorry.
Say we're trying to sack a player into there for the net. Could the Roma be the one main calling instead?
Mm-hmm.
I
The
see.
Roma main calling.
Yeah, just like like a Roma will be calling like which side he want to take.
You don't necessarily main call. You can call plays on the mid that the soldiers will go through. Like, on Sunshine, on Snake, for example, you go like, "Oh, yo, other soldier, do you want to try double bomb this mid? Okay, let's jump back 42 seconds." Yeah, like you make calls like that. That's not necessarily main calling, but it's calls which direct what the soldiers are doing. Because the soldiers just how like the combo are a little pack that work together. The flank is a little pack that work together, and then in certain fights, the soldiers are a pack which coordinate what they're doing together, right? So, yes, as a roamer, you can make calls and directions to the other soldier. Other useful calls will be you might be in a more forward position or behind that your team can't see, and you can give that info. I wouldn't say it's main calling, I'd just say it's supplying more info to your team to make decisions.
No, Birchy, what I meant was like, let's say we're holding mid. We got the mid, we got the midpoint, we're holding the mid, it's even Ubers, and clearly it's our turn to sack. So
Right, of course, yes, you can say the type of sack you want to go for. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. I could call I would probably want a second Valley, so I would call my combo to either pressure through Cafe or Choke, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But obviously,
Right.
you're the one going for the sack, so you know what's working and what isn't working, so you can say the type of sack you want to go for. Yeah, you're right.
Right.
Obviously, I would verify with whoever's main calling that now is the time to sack. So if his main caller wants to go like, "Oh, I don't want to sack this. I just want to see if we can take Space Valley because they're not holding it very well," then obviously that's more important than whatever plan you have for a sack because it's the main caller's call. But yes, absolutely, you can say what sacks you want to go for because you're the ones going for them. So of course, it should be up to you.
See. Hamlet, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
So I think like sometimes it's situations you probably lost track of Uber situations.
Fair, I guess.
Like,
I mean,
no. There are sometimes that definitely like sometimes you probably get lost. What you can do is probably you can just ask your team if whether we kill the man or not.
fine, makes sense. I mean, if you can always kill the med, I think I'm just gonna always say yes because I want him dead.
No, I mean no. What I mean was that
Oh,
in a fight we will fight and like there are a lot of things can happen. You probably die along the way, but then you probably don't know whether like we kill that man in that certain fight. So you could probably you probably lost track of the Ubers at the point, and you can probably even ask like whether we kill the man or not.
Oh yeah, sure, that makes sense. Like makes sense. I think like yeah, that's true. Like during the mid fights, if I lose track of who dies and who doesn't, I agree.
Okay,
Right.
I think
Yes, sorry to keep you here hostage.
it's okay.
But,
I don't mind. I don't mind hanging around and answering some questions. It's not a problem. What time did you message me? 15. Oh no, it hasn't been 2 hours at all. It's been let's see, 3:45. It's only been an hour and a half. I think everything was compacted within an hour, and then I've just stuck around answering some questions, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I think the amount of time I have right now is about up. If you
Alright.
guys have questions, you can ping me in this Discord. I don't mind answering some questions over text. That's fine. Any quick questions before I disappear?
No, I don't have any more.
Yep,
Okay,
none
I'm
for
gonna
me.
make a move then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks.
thank you very much.
Yeah,
No
thank
problem
you.
at all.
Very,
Good luck with you learning,
very
guys.
helpful.
Alright.
Bye bye.
Thank you,
Bye-bye, guys.
Birchy.
No problem. Bye bye.
Thank you for your time.
Shiro.
Ooh.
Apparently,
You got
the guy
re-recorded all that?
Huh?
Yes.